Thank you. And I'm independent TD for Limerick, and my colleague Victor Boylan here in Dublin is. We are together in this. I'm a building contractor. I'm a block clearer myself. I understand exactly everything you're saying. But the core testing, I believe, has to go ahead, and I'll tell you why. At the moment, there is a retrofit grant going out around the country that the government now are pushing. The retrofit grant is for to insulate your house. Now, if you've got a house with pyrite and you insulate the house, it excels it excels what's happening. Now, in Limerick, we had 30 people here yesterday that have pyrite and have a group in Limerick at the moment. And I get 2 or 3 phone calls a week at the moment from people saying, because I'm a building contractor myself, will you come and look at my house and see what's the criteria? When this happened, first people rang us and asked us what will we do. I said, at the moment till somebody gets you, like you said, was seal it up, because we don't know what's coming. We don't know what grant aid will be available to you. So yes, seal up the cracks and stop the water getting in at the moment because of the pyrite issue. If the government does not allow core testing go ahead, and it's proven now that people that had poor insulation in their houses, which houses were built in the 80s, would have only had 40 mil white insulation. Those houses that had pyrite, only the houses that had pyrite, that got their insulations pumped in their cavities, 90% of them at the moment are showing up with pyrite in our county because it's excelled. And if the government do not allow the core testing go ahead to make sure that there isn't pyrite in the house that we're insulating, you're actually causing a bigger problem in the whole country. Because now you're excelling a situation that you've control of. So the core testing has to stay there. The engineers and the lack of engineers at the moment we have for testing this is also a big problem. The engineers that engineered your house first day, that were taking the certified blocks and certified stones, were good enough at the time for regulation, for the banks, institutions, for the government to meet regulation when you're building your house. They were good enough to sign off on your house. And now they're saying they're not good enough to do testing on your own house, even be part of the testing where they can do core testing and send it to an independent lab where we can get results, which fast tracks. So on one hand, we have a government that is looking to insulate your house, which can cause the excel of pyrite in houses. And on the other hand, they're stopping coring, going ahead to find out if you have pyrite. Now, we have situations where those people have, depends on, and all the blocks that I'm talking about came from Clare. And Clare is bordered on Limerick, and at the quality of the time, this is where the problem lies. And some houses have the Clare blocks. Some houses have the Clare infill. So it's not in their blocks, but it's in their floors, and it's bursting up through the floors. Some of them have it around the outside of the house where the clause 84 was put in, to put in the sewers and all. You have it around the outside of the house, which is actually causing the footpaths to burst up, and people are wondering what's wrong as it subsides. It's not, it's pyrite. So the question, and it comes back to you again, and you've actually answered it a couple of times already, is the core, what is your thinking on the pumped insulation going into houses at the moment that could have pyrite? Do you have, in any of your cases, has it shown where it has excelled the process of pyrite showing out?
I can answer that for you. We have, and in 2013, the owner of a house applied to for the SEAI services, and on December the 2nd, he got back a reply saying that the services couldn't be rendered because of the cracks in his gable. And that was, they wouldn't carry them out. And that was 2013 that we found out. And in 2014, that couple found out that they had pyrite. So SEAI were offering services in 2013 for cavity wall insulation, all right? And they knew it was worsening, you know, the or exasperating the whole condition or the whole issue.
We have, sorry to cut, we have a lot of houses in Limerick at the moment that people have done remedial work because they had cracking. They've removed the plaster work and they've put on mesh onto it, and they've got products that soak in to make the blocks harder at the moment. But the problem is now is when the winter comes again, the moisture will build up inside that, and the whole lot will come off in a leaf. And the problem you have when you build a house is you have a wall plate that holds up your roof. If you have a hip roof, you're putting the pressure onto the corners of your house. If you have a bungalow with an air roof in it, it's been all held together with triangulation of timber. If one of your cavities is weakened by pyrite, your house will do that, come down around you. So if the government, and it has to allow the coring, and it's 100% to have to allow coring, to make sure that any houses, that we are not putting any family in a situation that they are in danger. And number two, with the insulation grants, we have to make 100% of the coring has to happen to make sure that we're not excelling a problem that we already have.
Can I just answer?
Thanks.
Actually, you'll have to go into it.
Just very briefly, 20 seconds.
Yeah,
please.
so they're suggesting coring, but only on the recommendation of the Housing Association. So it's only at a much later stage, and if you get past the damage threshold. I would say that I've surveyed 90 houses, 56 of them have this cavity wall insulation, 26 of them don't, others are not defined. And it's in our report as well that the water is crossing the cavity. It's not the insulation, it's crossing inside. Now, the notion, I've also heard that proffered from an engineer in Limerick, that you can spray some magical potion onto blocks to restore their compressive strength. That's utter nonsense. You cannot
We'll come
restore
back to that.